Welcome back to You're Done, the podcast where we talk about
everything,
anything, laughs,
trash,
sass,
and lots of ass.
Yeah, lots of ass. Today we're talking about dating. Yeah, it's a very relevant topic to me currently, which is hilarious.
I am happily married for a year, but we've all been through it.
Yeah. Well, we should start with a catch up. Tell me about what's been going on in your life.
Let's talk about the fact that it is now getting warm outside.
Okay.
I actually don't think we had spring. Or maybe we did. We just had rain.
It doesn't really feel like it feels like it's winter and then it's so hot you're sweating balls.
Okay, so I disagree because I love the sun. I'm like, give me the sun.
Fair.
My melanin is like, feed me.
My white ass is like, help. I'm melting. But
it's just like, it's crazy. It was literally super cold, and then it was raining, and then it was 25.
Yeah.
And so I'm here for this. And so I've just been really, absorbing the sun.
Oh my gosh. My under boob sweat is like out of control.
Under boob sweat is one of the worst things that can happen to a human.
It goes through every shirt. I have to wear dark clothes. Otherwise, you'll just see a huge patch.
For those who are watching, I'm well endowed.
Are you?
And so
should we describe for the listeners?
They're larger.
They're larger and
charger.
Larger and charger.
And so, sometimes when I have to go in and wipe the sweat, I'm like, this is a lot.
That's
and if it's
I feel you.
Okay, I have a question because I'm not a guy. And so is it the equivalent of, when guys fix their package? Do you think it's the equivalent of us having to clear our boob sweat?
I mean, maybe. I think that guys also just have a thing where they kind of just enjoy touching themselves down there. So I think there's
they're not actually adjusting because of the heat.
Sometimes they're just because it feels a little good, I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But it is also because of the heat. It's a combination. I just don't know if it feels that great for you when you're readjusting.
If you have to be what to, then sure. But if you have to adjust a bra strap or whatever, but under boob sweat. So that was my week. And, I was enjoying the sun. But then I got to Brendan's house and I had to use the toilette.
Oh, yes. This.
And I was
what did you call it?
A douche.
A douche, correct.
And so I was came out of the washroom and I said, Brendan, why do you have you have a douche on your toilet?
And in fact, I do own a douche, but this is not a douche. This is a bidet. It's actually a tushy, which I love and recommend for everyone. This is not sponsored, but it should be. And I was like, Tasha, what do you think a douche is?
I thought it was the thing that sprays water up and clears your bum.
It technically is that, but that's not what a bidet does. A bidet does just washes. It doesn't go inside of you. You have to be pretty loose for it.
Pretty loose.
Yeah, I would know. I would not know. I would not know.
Oh no, okay.
It's the great
You're tight.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Nothing's going.
So I learned something new today.
Yeah.
Because I've been calling it that forever. And I feel for those who are watching and listening that I have super ridiculous moments that I don't know things.
But you do.
But I am
but
quite
you do.
smart. But you know what? At least I'm funny and I own it.
Nobody thinks you're not smart. You have an airhead moment every once in a while.
Smart. But that was my week, and that was my learn of the week. So I'm just here enjoying the sun and apparently keeping my tushy clean. So
I love that for you.
Yeah, how was your week?
My week was fine. I mean, I can't really think of anything that interesting that I did. We're obviously podcasts, we're doing stuff. So I'm learning how to edit, which has been such an interesting experience. Yeah. Learning how to use Final Cut Pro and all this stuff. But it's been really fun. It's quite enjoyable. Yeah, what else? I feel I wish I had a more interesting. Oh, so yesterday I went for dinner and drinks with some of our friends, hopefully a soon to be a friend of the pod.
Yes, hopefully.
KB. And we went to this it was a 45th anniversary of Buddies in Bad Times in Toronto, which is a queer theater, but they also was sort of a bar club sort of
great
scenario.
Time. Always been a great time.
I've been there a few times, but I've never been into, they have a separate, I guess it's maybe the theater. I've only ever been into sort of that entry area that has the staircase. They have a whole back area. They had it was strange because it's like almost 11:30 and they have like it's a room full of people and they're like dancing and whatever, and there's like a performance of like a pole dancer, and then next it's a stand-up comedian, and I was like, this is, I feel so horrible for the stand-up comedian who's like trying to get these like
So
drunk
calm down
and like
to
listen.
laugh.
Yeah. But then the drag queen Bombay, she was on Canada's Drag Race.
Mm-hmm.
She comes on and oh my gosh. So she was in like, she looked like she had just come out of the shower. She was like wrapped in a towel. She had like a towel wrapped around her head. She reveals into like this other, like basically towel garment thing. But then the towel wrapped on her head, turns out it was a bubble machine. And it starts like blowing, but it was so good.
So
it was
good.
like one of those like, I love a drag queen reveal, but I love it when I have no idea what it was going to be. I thought she was just going to take it off.
Reveal. When you have a reveal, I am intrigued.
Yeah. And I feel like that's kind of like drag is like, it's like sort of meta. Like drag is revealing what we have about gender. So then when you also do like this like reveal, anyways, it was just so good. So that was, I had a great time yesterday. And if you hear it in my voice, I'm a little hungover. So slay.
I mean, shall we cheers to that?
Yeah, let's cheers. You know what? Hair of the dog.
I brought you a present.
Did you?
I did. All right.
Oh my gosh. For those listening, Tasha got me a flower.
I got you a rose.
A rose. Yeah. And in fact, what it is I got a rose from a random yesterday, and now Tasha is regifting it to me. So thanks. I love you.
It's not about dating. I wanted to, you know, give something cute to you.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Love.
Exactly. So when we think about dating, you know, we are millennials and we've seen it all. We've seen
sometimes,
the in person, we've seen at the bars, we've seen at the club, we've seen on the apps.
Yeah. Oh, right? The apps are all of my boyfriends that I've ever had in my life. I have met through the apps.
Really?
Yeah, every single one.
Every single one. You've never had like a encounter? Bonjour.
I've had
hola to you.
I've had encounters. Hola, bonjour, ciao, bella, whatever. But those never really turned into anything serious. All the things that I've ever like, all the guys that I dated seriously, I met through Tinder or Grindr or wherever. So it's interesting. So I'm very pro the apps because I think I like that you can control that. And also I find that, and this, I'm curious to know this about you, I never get approached in person. So it actually isn't, I have to do the approaching, and my radar of the kinds of people that would be good in person, I think is off from the apps. I can have a better sense or intuition that way.
When I think for me, I am
Did you ever use the
married
apps?
And like it's been a year. He is great. Producer Angel.
Hi, Producer Angel.
Hi. But like prior to being with him, I didn't really use the applications. Oh my gosh, listen to me, applications.
Yeah, you're 3,000. You're
oh my god, it's
the application. I don't know if I've ever.
Whoa, what did I just do? It's like
you aged 60 years.
I did. It's like when someone says Toronto.
Oh, that's.
Oh my gosh, guys, I apologize.
Yeah.
Let's start again. So the apps.
The apps. There we go. There we go.
When I remember the only one I ever tried to use, oh, I lied. I remember trying to use Tinder.
Okay.
Right? And I tried to download it. I downloaded it. And I think it was connected to Facebook at the time.
Yeah.
And I log in, and then it would say, you didn't log in, try again. And I tried to do it over and over and over again. And it never actually let me in.
Weird. It was like the universe was like, you know what? You don't need that.
You don't need
this. Isn't for you.
And then I remember
us uggos need that.
Stop it. You're gorge.
Look
at the space. For those who can see, for those you can't imagine.
Just go to my Instagram.
Go to my Instagram.
Follow.
Right? And so I went to use Bumble.
Okay.
And I remember I was like swiping. And I recognized, I think I did what is it? Like when you can do the circumference of the city or whatever.
Okay.
Like distance.
Yeah.
And I'm swiping and I'm like, why do I know all these people?
Oh.
And then it ended on my ex-boyfriend's cousin, and I said, deleting of this app immediately.
Yeah, no thank you.
No thank you.
No thank you.
No thank you.
That's what I hate about Hinge. Hinge has this, you've never used it, but you've seen it because we've like looked at it together.
You know, we were at a friend's house, remember? And we had them put it onto like airplane on the TV so we could analyze.
Yeah. It was so, because like I'm used to like all the gay guys, seeing what straight guys profiles are, crazy.
The worst when they're like,
crazy.
When they're like, you know, giving you a voice note. Like, this is what I sound like when I'm playing the guitar. What?
I have a voice note in mind, but it's like, what's your worst fear? And I'm like, having to take the garbage out and people in my building seeing me go to the garbage chute. That is my worst fear.
Imagine if I'm like at home on Hinge or whatever, and I'm like, let me listen to this guy, and he's just talking about picking out the garbage. I'm like,
it's maybe not my best thing, but people do reply to it. They're like, oh my gosh, me too. It's like relatable. I'm trying to be relatable.
I'm trying to be
relatable.
I like that.
I spend so much time trying to make like an aloof, relatable profile so that people are like, oh my gosh, he's so great.
Guys, we have our new word of the day today. He's saying aloof.
Aloof.
I actually like that because when I think aloof, I'm like, loofah?
No.
I know it's not what it means, guys. Come on. I just like the word. I like the way that word sounds.
Yes, okay.
Like my favorite word. Do you have a favorite word? My favorite word is kerfuffle.
Kerfuffle. I really like shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Or heinous. I think heinous is a really good word.
Oh, don't get me started. I'm so into Law and Order SVU right now. Heinous crimes.
Dun, 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 dun.
Exactly. So like, when I think about the dating world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the wildness that happens when we put ourselves out there in order to meet another person, of course, that comes with excitement. It comes with happiness. It comes with anxiety. And it comes with sadness as well.
Yeah, I would say for me, it's mostly like a series of like ongoing disappointments. It's because the thing about dating, especially, and this is what I would say the drawback to the apps, is that when you meet someone in person for the first time, you get their whole vibe right away.
Yeah.
You can't really build, like you can leave that interaction and, you know, build a story around them. But in the apps, you really just have your imagination and whatever information they've provided you.
So you kind of make a storyline on your own.
Yeah, or like expectations. And then like so many of the people that I've gone on dates with, I'm like, oh, this is not it. This was not what I thought we were. No.
But you know what I'm proud of you of? Because again, I'm married, so I haven't done it, but.
Say you're married one more time.
Because I love him. Meow.
Meow.
But the thing is, I would be so nervous to meet the person. It's one thing to have like a little chit chat, kiki via message.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so now I have to meet you.
Yeah, I feel like it's exposure therapy. I've just like done
I watch way too much Law and Order, like I said.
Yeah, and it's very different for like your experience as a woman than it is for like, I don't have the same, I probably should, but I don't have the same fear that something violent is going to happen to me.
I don't mean it's violent. It's more of like...
Well, you said SVU.
I know, I did actually.
I was like, wait, which episode of that is not violent, please?
I mean, there is that as well, but it's just like the anxiety of like, I guess when you think of a first date or like what is it? Like a blind first date?
Yeah.
It's like I would pee. I think I would pee myself because I'd be so anxious.
Yeah.
And it would like trickle out, like need a Penn's diaper. Like a
You'd use the douche. You'd need to clean yourself with a douche.
Right? It's just that. Like, what does that feel like?
I mean, it is nerve-wracking, but I think it's also like people are different. Like I'm an extroverted person, so like I like being around people. So I mean, crazy, right? But it really, so I was in a 2.5 year long relationship that ended last summer. We're still friends, so that's fine. You know all this, but basically, I took like 6 months from our breakup to essentially the new year to like date again, and. So in total, it was almost like 3 years that I hadn't like been on a first date. So yeah, the first couple were awkward and like a bit nerve wracking, but then it was just like, I turned it into like a job. So it was just like, I had.
Welcome to my new JOB.
Yeah, my JOB, which is like going on dates with a bunch of people.
In a week, how many would you, for example?
At a time.
The max you've ever done?
The max, I think, was like 4 or 5. It was quite.
I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it was
That's
exhausting. It was like my entire social calendar was just meeting these new people.
I mean, if you're hungry, you might as well have dinner. So.
Yeah, go to a buffet. Oh, you mean like actually eat? Oh, no. I don't ever go on eating.
What?
I mean, like not like meals.
You never eat on a date?
I'll like do like dessert or like drinks or something, but not.
Oh, honey,
not
child,
a dinner.
You need to understand that I like to eat food. So like, I'm not saying I need to go have wings on the you know what? I still would. But like, see me as I am.
I guess I don't want to eat. It's also like eating. You're like literally trapped there for like who knows how long. What if they're a really slow eater? Like, oh my gosh, that would kill me. So first dates don't generally do food. I've done dessert a few times and those are actually fine. Because I like dessert and it's usually like quick and easy. But yeah, a meal is like a second, third. You actually more like a third, fourth, fifth date.
Wait, I was listening, but then it stopped, but then I listened again.
So you weren't listening, is what you're saying? No, okay, you heard it here first, folks. Thank God we record this.
Yeah. No, because what I heard was that you guys don't eat until the fourth or fifth.
I don't go like on a real like dinner date. Yeah, until like maybe the third.
Like, you know what I was gonna say, but I laughed in my head. But I'm gonna say it anyways. So like, do you ever get street meat?
Well, I get street meat. Yeah, but.
Like, would that be considered like fourth, fifth date eating?
I don't know. I wouldn't really do that much, anyways. Yeah,
he's having different.
You're a food centric person. I'm not a food centric person. So like, I'll eat because I need to and I enjoy it, but like, I don't really build my day around it per se.
All right. Well, we've heard like dating is just, you know what, a thing that one has to do.
Yeah.
Unless you are not wanting to.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, so the thing with the going on a bunch of dates in January is that it actually got really exhausting after a while. And so I really front loaded it with a lot of people to then just like have a few people that were like going on for a bit. I
front loaded it with a lot of people. All I can see is front loading. I'm like, hi there. Yeah. Just gonna front load.
I probably went on like 20 dates in January.
Get it, girl. Serve.
Thank you. Yeah. And like I met a couple people that I liked and some things like continued and some things ended and whatever. And then it's sort of like it's in a whatever place now. It's in a whatever place now. And so I'm now back in a place where I probably need to start going on dates again. And I'm like, oh, it's so much work.
But you know what? It's nice outside.
It is nice outside.
So find me outside.
I just don't. This is now goes back to I don't want to have to be on the dates on the apps again. I would like to meet people in person.
Okay, so we'll go out, and I am the best wing woman. Period. Yeah, because I'm just like I've been told I'm a natural flirt, even though I'm not necessarily trying to.
And you're a gay man inside.
Yeah,
so
and I can't help that my boobaliciousness is just out there, and so I will be that magnet for you, with you.
And we will document it here on the podcast. Part of our catch-ups can be the people that you've introduced me to.
Done.
It's interesting how when you're like singly again or like ready to mingle, the people that come out of the woodwork. Of the woodwork.
Every time I've ended a relationship, somehow people just pew, 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 pew.
Yeah.
How did you know? Do I have a new scent?
The bat signal goes out and it's like, they're ready.
And I'm like, ew, get off me.
They have a douche. And they've used it.
I cannot with you. Because I'm learning.
Because you are learning.
It has like a dial tone as well.
It's for pressure, mama.
Oh. Okay, real talk on the talk. Have you ever used yours for like the one you have on your toilet?
For what?
Just like, ooh.
No, it's cold water, mama. Yeah.
Okay,
it's like mind. Immediately everything seizes. It's to clean. It's not for fun. It's not for You can get one that has warm, but like I am not a plumber or an electrician. I did not know how to set that up. We were not doing that. We were going for...
I mean, if I ever have to take... Or not ever have to. Clearly, I'm a human. So when I take a caca...
Here at my house, you can do.
You do that, but normally if I'm at home, I like to shower right after.
Yeah, well, and that's what's nice about a bidet. I can't believe this is what we're talking about, but it basically gives you the feeling of having just showered because it's like water, and then you just have to dab. Yeah, it's so good. Anyway, it's so good.
The learns we learned.
The learns we learned.
Well, I think it's time
for our segment.
For our segment.
Okay.
Yeah. Which means
the microphones are back. I love these.
I love it. Okay, let me see where I'm gonna put it. So today's segment, we're gonna do Adi Avion.
Adi Avion.
And so Adi Avion is my baby child.
Yeah, tell us.
I travel a lot.
Okay.
And when I'm in airports, if I'm bored, I just decide that I want to film people.
Right.
I film myself and just find the drama in airports and airplanes. So feel free to go on my Insta and look up my Adi Avion stories.
We'll post some highlights
It's the tea. I love it.
Yeah, we'll post some highlights to the Instagram.
Because I'm so shady because I'll pretend that the phone is I'm using it as a cell phone to call someone.
Yeah.
But I'm actually recording, right? But I'm only doing it if you're doing something real trash.
You know what? And they deserve it. They're in public. They're in public.
They're in public. We're at the this is happy times.
What was the impetus of Adi Avion? What was the first one? And then I think we should do an Adi Avion. So the idea behind the segment is that we're going to tell a travel related story, but it's born from your Instagram thing.
Yes.
So,
and we'll do a dating version of Adi Avion.
Yeah.
But this all originated, and I'll tell this story quick because it's crazy. But
when are they not?
Essentially, we went to, my husband and I, we went to Paris.
Okay.
Right? Your fave.
Slay.
And because we found a really cheap ticket to go. And we were only going to go for 4 days.
Okay.
And we went for Paris Fashion Week. Fun fact, guys, if you ever just tag, different hotels or models or whatever, or fashion houses, just say, I'm going to be around. I would love to show up.
Hit me up.
Right?
Hit me up.
I got into 2 parties and 1 fashion show at the Shangri-La in Paris.
Whoa.
Yeah, girl. Anywho.
Okay, icon. So
we
just wait until this pops off.
Right? Everyone's going to get it. Adi Avion. Come on, let's travel. And so
we need to trademark that.
I really should.
Adi Avion, yeah.
I should. Listen, don't take that.
Yeah.
Right?
You heard it here first, folks. It's trademarked.
It's trademarked.
TM. Adi Avion TM.
So we have our flight to come home. And before we left, we got an email saying our flight to come home has been moved 1 day forward.
Okay, that's annoying.
And so I was like, whatever, that's how it works.
Your trip's ending early.
No, it was going to be
later.
Instead of a Monday, it would be Tuesday.
Okay,
right?
okay.
So I told work and I was like, so sorry, there's nothing I can do about it. I have an extra day.
Yeah.
We are coming back home. And now we're at the airport to come back home from Paris. And we're waiting hours and hours and hours. It keeps saying delayed, then canceled, then delayed, and back again, back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there I got to get home. I have work tomorrow.
I have to fly from Paris to Toronto and then work.
Yeah. Yeah, right? And
craziness.
So in the Charles de Gaulle airport, you don't just walk the tarmac. You have to get on a little bus.
Mm-hmm.
They bring us onto the bus and I'm recording, right? Because I'm just having fun. I'm recording, but it's not an Adi Avion yet. And they bring us onto the bus in front of the plane and then stop. Don't open the doors. And then they turn around and go back to the airport. And so we're all what is going on? Okay. What is happening?
Yeah.
And we're all standing there. Everyone's just trying to figure out what's going on. The people that work there are not telling us anything. Out of nowhere.
Classic French people.
Classic. Out of
Love you, French people.
Out of nowhere, this guy goes, I guess he's looking at his phone. He's on Twitter. Mm-hmm. And he goes, did you guys just go bankrupt?
What?
And there's probably 2 flights to New York, 1 flight to Toronto on a 747 large plane.
Yeah.
And everyone went, excuse me, what? And then all of a sudden, more people go online and they see it says Primera Air gone bankrupt. Everyone's losing their shit. And then they come in, I guess 20 minutes later with declarations of bankruptcy forms.
To show you?
To show us. And they said, find your own way home.
What? Oh my gosh, what did you do?
I promise you, they even brought the Parisian army in because everyone was kicking off. They're like, what the hell?
Yeah, of course. We're stranded.
Some airlines were showing one way, 4 layovers, $5,000.
No.
There's people in the airport crying. People are trying to call their family. I'm just laughing because I'm in a state of delusion.
Yeah.
Right?
You're well, no work for me.
But what do you mean?
Yeah.
It took us 3 days and $2,000 to get back home.
No.
Right? But at least I got to see Versailles.
I mean, slay. I
And
love
so
that for
because of that, I
you.
said, Are Avion is born.
Yes.
I must film in the airport from now on.
And you seem to catch a lot of things.
I
swear that it's partially because you film it, because I don't think I've had nearly that many experiences that you have, but every time I'm like, how is Tasha having another Are Avion moment?
They happen.
And yet I'm here for it and entertained, but I'm like, girl, your luck is
tell me
horrible.
your Are Avion dating story.
Okay, so I have a few. I'm thinking about...
Give me one.
Yeah, I'm thinking about when I went to Mexico with my family once. And I was using the apps. This actually is all whatever. And so I was using Grindr, and and I was messaging this guy who was like near our resort, and he like seemed nice. He was like, I think a couple years younger, but like cute. I think he was like Argentinian, but like lived in Puerto Vallarta. And he was like, let's like go blah blah blah, hang out, da da da. And I'm like an adult person. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
But because I was on vacation with my family, my mom, Kim, who you will all come to know and love and loathe probably, as I do. Hi, Kim. There's a whole podcast episode that I was on called Hi, Kim, because of me talking about her, which was so funny. I'll link that, I think. Anyway, so even though I'm like a grown adult person and I was like, oh, I'm going to go like meet a friend, which of course I'm not really going to meet a friend. My mom was like, well, your sister should go with you.
Okay.
And so I was like, okay.
I'm here trying to get it on, Mama Bear.
But I was like, Kennedy, will you come with me? And she's like, sure, whatever. And so we like go and meet this guy in like the town or whatever. And then he just turns out to be like, I'm actually so glad my sister was with. He was cute. He looked like what he was supposed to. Like, he was at first seemed charming. And then he was like, I really want to do karaoke. And I was like, there must be a place we can do that. He's like, you know what? There's a bar I go to. I'm just going to make them. They have a microphone. I'm going to just make them let me sing there. And I was like, what? So we went into a random bar. He accosted the owner. The owner was like, fine, whatever. Turned on the sound system. Then he just started singing. Oh
was he good?
He was.
You don't like when people sing to you, though. You don't love that.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I don't love it. I can't say I've been sung to a lot, but I don't love it. And anyways, he was not very good. It wasn't horrible, but he was not great. But I can't remember the song. It was like, oh, I have to remember this. But he was singing a song and the lyrics were just like so intense. Like, why don't you love me?
Why don't you love me? Like right in your eyes?
Yeah.
Tell me, baby, why don't you need me?
Like, and I was like, oh, and my sister's literally next to me being like, what have you made me do? Where am I? Yes, I did bring him back to the resort. Yes, I did go home with him. Yes, it was a very weird hookup.
I did not think that it was going to continue past the singing.
I had committed. I was there. It was happening. The thing is like, I'll do a lot for the plot. And also,
I'll do a lot for the plot.
I'll do a lot for the plot. And I just like, sometimes you have that itch. And I was like, well, I'm already here. And I'm hoping I don't get a different kind of itch from being here. But I was fine. So yeah, that was I have many of those, but that's one that comes to mind recently because it like fits all the things we've just talked about. Apps, dating, whatever. Do you have one?
I do. Okay. We have to go way back.
Into the Wayback Machine.
Wayback Machine, back into university times.
Okay.
And
1990.
In the 1990s, as I said, Black don't crack. I'm basically 12. But...
and I am 12 and I look like this. That's why people are shriveling. I know.
Like moisturizing, you'll be fine.
I moisturize. That's why I'm so shiny. Anyways, back to you.
So I was not like dating this guy at all.
Okay.
In university. I never dated this guy.
Okay.
But in university, I just wanted... He was on the football team, and I was like, I want you to like me without me doing anything. You know, like, I just want you to look at me and be like, yeah, I want this girl, but I don't want to do anything.
But see, that's what I mean. You have like a magnetism that I'm like, if I did that, I would die alone. No,
I would like give eyes and then look away and just walk.
He already wanted you, right? So before you had even thought about it.
Anyways, we became friends. Still didn't do anything with it.
Okay.
People thought, oh my gosh, you're with like around this guy. I'm like, I promise you, there's nothing, right?
Because he was really hot. People were like, wow, okay.
But I was just like, my mission was to make you want me, but me not want you.
My gosh. Yes.
You know?
Yes,
I was
that
bored.
is that's
I was bored.
yeah.
Whatever.
Break up with your girlfriend. I'm bored.
Great track.
Great track.
Great track.
Ariana.
Great track.
What are you doing here?
And so then he had to move, like he moved and we still became friends. We were still friends. But then I guess at one point I was like, I should have probably done something.
Yeah, it's crazy that you went on that long. I mean, I guess you got what you wanted. Basically.
Yeah, but I didn't put thought into it of like, you know, I should have done something. I
could have.
So he moved back home, a flight away from Toronto, and he's talking one day and he was saying how he was like really sad and has been dealing with a lot of things and like needed a friend and blah, 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 blah. And so I was like, okay.
Don't worry.
I'll get a plane ticket and I'll come on over. Right. And so stupid me thinks like, okay, here's the door. The door is open from him. The door's not open for me. So bought a plane ticket. It's in Canada. Flew there. And I missed my flight because I slept through it, but it's okay. I got the next flight. Avion.
Avion.
Quite literally back in the day.
The predecessor.
We were talking the night before and everything was fine.
And it was like getting sexy?
I mean, we were just chatting. We're just having a chit-chat. Just a little chit-chat.
But there was like a pretext that something would happen.
There was a pretext, right? And so, you know, I'm in the plane. I'm like nervous because we've only been friends. But I'm like, okay, let's see.
Okay. What a major first date, basically, to be like, I'm flying to see you.
Yeah, but I've known him for a while.
Sure, but it's different. The context is different.
It's different. There's an expectation of something that you don't know if it will happen or whatever.
Get it.
So I land. I waiting for him, and then he shows up, like face was just in a state of like sorrow.
Oh.
And I was like, what happens?
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, we were just talking yesterday, like what happened?
Yeah.
And he goes, I have to tell you something. And I'm like, what? I'm like, that you couldn't tell me yesterday. What? And he goes, I met up with my ex-girlfriend yesterday and she wanted to talk, and turns out she's pregnant. So she's going to stay with me for a while. So she's at the house where I'm going to stay.
No.
I'm like, you couldn't tell me this last night.
But when I could have continued to sleep in and just not come on the flight.
So I spent the week going to doctor's appointments with his ex-girlfriend. And he was a bodybuilder, so he had like no food. So I ate rice crackers and peanut butter for a week.
And slept on the couch?
While
they slept in his room?
While they slept in the room.
Oh. Are they like a happy family now?
No. So, I mean, life happens, life moves on.
Yeah.
Right? But I was like,
was it worth it?
I flew for this and got nothing out of it. So that's my Avion dating story.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think there's anything that can top that.
No.
Well, but you could top me.
The more you learn,
the more you know. Da, da, da.
Shining star.
Oh my gosh, love that. Okay, well.
But you know what I said to him?
What?
You're done.
You're done.
You're done.
You're
and
done.
I think that this episode is done.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, y'all. Thanks for listening.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
Absolutely.
Check us out on all social media. You're Done the podcast. And listen to this either on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or watch us on YouTube.
Love that. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
You're done.
You're done.
Cheers.
Oh, yes. Cheers.